What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at another viewer's car. This is Tim's Mini John Cooper Works, and it is not stock anymore. It is also a special edition because this car has a dealer option called the John Cooper Works Pro package, which means you get a slightly revised front and rear bumper. This car also has the John Cooper Works Pro exhaust, which is very loud. It actually deletes the center silencer, and it has a bypass for the rear silencer. So it's a very loud exhaust, especially the pops, the bangs are super loud. They are actually stock, which is crazy. You'll hear that in a second. And it also had an ECU remap, so it's a bit quicker than stock. So at the front you have the regular John Cooper Works front bumper with that massive, like super pronounced lower part with these intakes here, all specific to the John Cooper Works. And then apparently this lower part here with this extended lip is part of the Pro package. It actually also houses a park distance control sensor, and then Tim added this part later, I think. Yeah, this is an addition, so to give it an even more aggressive front end. Nice little red accents in the grille, a John Cooper Works badge, LED headlights. It is a nice spec in black and red with the John Cooper Works wheels, also with a little red accent, the brakes as well. It's a very consistent spec. Michelin Pilot Sport 5 tires. I think that's the first time we're testing a car with these tires. I've got them on my E55 as well. I really like them. These are 18-inch wheels with quite a skinny tire. And this car also has AST lowering springs and spacers. And you do feel that. It is quite a firm, almost harsh ride, I would say. But of course it is a Mini. You can follow Tim, Blackline JCW on Instagram. You also added this striping inspired by the Abarth striping. Pretty nice detail. And then we've got this Maxton spoiler extender on the rear wing, which is still here. That is a miracle that they didn't fall off. Usually they are gone on the Autobahn. Tim also upgraded his rear lights. So these are the newer rear lights with the Union Jack in there. Very nice, looks super cool. And then you can see the Pro exhaust with carbon sleeves, and again you have this little extender here, and this is a bit more pronounced as well, I think. But let me see if I can see the exhaust. Yeah, you can't really see it that much, but it is very loud. And I mean, I'm not really into the pops and bangs stuff, but this is like stock. If you bought a John Cooper Works Pro exhaust, then you got this like crazy loud sound. Another really good mod for this car is this, an Venturi intake with a carbon scoop that actually activates basically the hood scoop, because normally this is just closed, it's not functional, and the Venturi intake makes it functional, which is very cool. That is a really good mod. You can actually also get this in carbon fiber. We also sell this intake on our shop. So if you're interested, go check out, link in the description. This is a really good mod for your Mini, because the fact that this is normally closed is just ridiculous, right? So you need one that is open and that actually does something. Not only looks cool, but actually improves the engine or the intake. So the John Cooper Works gets a couple of things extra compared to a Cooper S. A Cooper S has 192 horsepower, but the John Cooper Works gets 231 because it has different pistons, a new turbocharger, an upgraded intake, a different exhaust, and an upgraded intercooler as well. So it's the B48 2-liter 4-cylinder engine from BMW. We know it, we love it in the 330i, for instance. But it's mated to a much better gearbox in that car. This has the Aisin 6-speed automatic, which I'm not a big fan of. But this car has been tuned by DVX, as you can see, in Belgium. So it's got 290 horsepower instead of 231, and 375, around 375 newton meters instead of the 320 it's got as stock. So it's a nice little upgrade. But as I said, yeah, that inventory intake is just genius. Really like that. All right. So if we take a look inside, we've got a couple other cool mods. Firstly, these seats are normally like Alcantara and I think leather, maybe a combination, but these have been completely refurbished in leather, so they are super nice. It feels quite luxurious for a Mini. And then the steering wheel has been done as well, but the steering wheel itself is not great. It's quite big for such a small car, and it's really thick. It should have been a bit more thin. And Tim also upgraded the pedals with these carbon fiber ones, which do look quite nice. They're a bit bigger than stock, which is nice. You have a bit more reach. So, the exhaust. It is quite a nice sound when you're on it. It's just those pops, and I hope that I will be able to get them because it's like a lottery whether you get the pops or not. So they're quite they're quite loud, but they are also quite repetitive, which means that you're done with it in like 5 minutes basically. I just get bored with it so quick, and then when you do, they just get annoying, which is, it's not really my thing. But a cool thing that Tim has done is he got this switch down here. Normally you have like a remote, a Bluetooth remote, which sort of looks like an explosive detonator. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it doesn't really work that well. So he has just a regular button or switch here, which is nice. So if you have them closed, it still pops, but it's a lot more quiet, and it sounds like popcorn popping in a stainless steel or cast iron pan. Yeah. But I do like the general sound of it when you drive it. It sounds a bit more dark, a bit more alive. So sport mode, we've got that. Traction control. Yeah, you've got a nice little crackle on the upshift as well. It's just those pops that just keep popping away. They should really have an off switch. So this F-Series Mini John Cooper Works is really the least hardcore John Cooper Works ever. It might be the fastest or the most powerful one, but this engine mated to this gearbox, it just does not really mean that you have a lot of fun. The engine is quite flat. It doesn't really have that much turbo lag, but it also does not really develop across the rev range, so it's quite a flat power delivery. It's quite a quick car, don't get me wrong, with 290 horsepower. It's pretty damn quick. But I do always miss like the driver involvement of the R-Series Minis when I drive an F-Series, because the steering as well, it's a bit like numb, you don't get feedback from it, and it feels like a bigger car than it actually is, which is weird. You would think that they would, try to make the car feel as light and as nimble as possible, especially because it is a small little hot hatch. But the hot part in hot hatch, I don't feel like is all that present in this generation John Cooper Works. So the fact that Tim got this Pro exhaust on this car and the tune, I really get that. The Venturi makes it sound better as well. There's definitely a lot more drama with this one. So as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of this gearbox, the Acid 6-speed. It's a bit of a slush box and you know, doesn't really respond that well to the pedals. I think you're better off just leaving it in sport or leaving it in drive even. And you also feel that because this car has been tuned, that sometimes it shifts and it kind of loses a bit of power. Maybe they've done that on purpose to save the gearbox, to, you know, to not demolish it. But it feels kind of weird sometimes. So on the Autobahn, it's quite a windy day today, so you definitely feel that and hear that. But it performs pretty well. We did like 14.5 seconds, which is around the same as a Mercedes AMG A35 with 300 horsepower. So I think it definitely has 290. For this generation Mini, I think the only way to make it a really fun car is to have it with a manual gearbox and a proper suspension setup. We drove a Mini Cooper S with a manual gearbox last year from Luxembourg, and that car drove so well. It was a really fun little Mini, the way you expect a Mini to be. And this gearbox really just takes away from that. But if you drive it as a daily, I can imagine that this is way nicer because it's just so much more comfortable. Brakes have been upgraded as well, of course, for the John Cooper Works. They are pretty good. The only really fun Mini you can buy, you know, new, are the GP ones nowadays. So the GP3, that car was really impressive. So they do know how to do it. They do still know, but I think the regular ones, Mini Cooper S and John Cooper Works, are just meant for such a broad audience that they kind of lose sight of what a true hot hatch should be, in my opinion. But I do really like the fact that Tim has made this his own, and he has definitely improved it drama-wise, because it sounds good. You have that Venturi blowing away, whistling away. So thanks Tim for taking your car to us, really appreciate it. Always love driving you guys' cars, and you can subscribe by clicking the big button. You can also check out this video, this playlist. See you at the next one. Bye.